what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Travis, The Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Anthony Riley, Physics Warrior, Music, whose name I don't know the full bit of, Event Horizon, Earth Flattener, Chris, Warren, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello.
Such enthusiasm.
Everybody's very muted for some reason.
Yeah. You're all keen before the show goes live.
Everyone.
Not a word out of half of you. Oh well. So there's a distinct lack of ballers today. On the last show we were discussing the fact that we've got a full panel. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's ever been a full show that hasn't had a single baller on the panel for the entire show. That was probably the first one. Unless others can think of an example, I can't. So, interesting turn of events, especially as in the last couple of days we've had several baller-to-baller fights, i.e. infighting amongst their trenches, which is very amusing to watch as they disagree with what science proves and what it does not prove and what an experiment is and is not. Very amusing. But I've been enjoying it, especially as we're sitting pretty, chatting about how flat the Earth is, obviously and observably. Have you guys felt a change in the tides? Yeah, Nathan, I've seen it a
these
lot.
last couple of days, this weekend for sure.
Well, that was a really great lead into that conversation. I'm glad I took all the effort.
I'd be willing to trade my spot for any baller that wanted to come in and dispute anything. But if I'm just going to come in to trade spots for Event Horizon or whoever to just come and sit and say nothing,
No,
then
he's already here.
kind of not worth it. What?
He's already in here.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying, and I'm in here, but and then so there's no spots for anybody to come in. But like I said, I'd be willing to trade spots with a baller who's actually going to come in and dispute something,
Cool.
So what I'm saying is just feel free to kick me at any time, but
Yeah, you can just leave. You don't need, if I kick you, you can't come back.
well, yeah, but and that's fine. I'll find my way back in with with a sock account or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But if you kick me and then just Chocolate Saiyan comes in and says nothing, then it's kind of like all for naught,
Yeah, well said. No offense to Chocolate Saiyan, but I know what you're getting at.
Anybody else want to offer?
Right.
anything?
Hey,
So-
I'm just usually at the placehold myself, so if anybody needs a spot,
Right.
I'm also open to drop.
Yeah, so maybe we should come up with something where if you see that you're the 10th person in, just drop. Just to be honorable, to give a baller a spot to say something.
No. There's
Because
no
it
need.
is fun. It makes the conversation more fun when a baller's in.
Absolutely, but by the same token, and there's normally a point in the chat where someone will say, "I'm trying to get on, but the panel's full," whereas that hasn't happened. So literally, there's no baller
So-
saying, "I really
Yeah.
want to come in and present something." Literally, no one's saying that in
Okay.
the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if that does happen and I drop and then again Chocolate Saiyan comes in and says nothing, I'm gonna kick him. Just
I'm
to
gonna
keep that
just
spot
snipe
open,
you all, guys.
Yeah, I'll just snipe the flat earthers until a baller comes in or something.
I love it. Yeah, we've just got,
so
like
see
Anthony
you
put
later.
it, cherry tomatoes, happy cherry tomatoes being thrown from the chat. That's all we get.
So we got a spot.
So there you go. If there is a baller, we shall see. Probably just get Alan. At least he's got a pair of balls.
Alan's dead weight, though, isn't he, really? He never comes in and produces anything. He just, I don't know, he's just like a place filler for the global market.
He's a stage act.
Yeah.
This is better than
Doesn't come
taunting
any-
them.
He's like live common acting. Like the old man drinking tea in his home.
Yeah, I'm liking
You
this
can't take
approach.
that job any
If-
new tricks, can you?
They're not going to join because it's this started. There you go, Paul J.
Jesus.
How you doing? You hear us, Paul?
I'm gonna.
Hello, Paul.
Nah, we've had trolls earlier. I kicked him.
Taking the panel with him.
No, I got him.
Okay. Where's Rune? Don't know, Alan. So yeah, I like the attitude. So discussing what the ballers had to say in the past, like Mark Taylor with his equatorial mount. See the last show if you want to understand what we're talking about. Yeah, I've got no issue with you criticising the likes of Paul Voigt for his total lack of evidence of a molten iron core, despite still claiming it, and joining the chat to throw tomatoes. There's loads of them. The Rumpus.
I found
with his total-
GeoStreamer the other day, and I reminded him that he still owed evidence for the molten iron core as well, which he, funny enough, he disappeared straight after that. He was on a debate. I can't remember where it was, but yeah, I found GeoStreamer and reminded him that he had a lack of evidence for his molten iron core claim, and reminded him to come back and present it one time. We're very quiet.
Yeah, there's a few. There's definitely a few people that need reminding about this stuff. So GeoStreamer and Paul Voigt, yeah, you've not got any evidence for the molten iron core, and I think we should start attributing this stuff to him. George Nettingyuk doesn't understand the Coriolis effect. Need to start pointing this
Rumpus
out.
doesn't understand the Coriolis effect. No globaler understands the Coriolis effect. That's one thing that always trips them up. I think that's hilarious. They don't gel with their arguments with that one, especially their arguments don't gel with each other. I got George the other day in comments to describe a complex hypothesis to me, and it was completely counteractive to what the Rumpus was trying not to describe the complex hypothesis was. So yeah, they're tripping up over each other's words more so over this past week than I've seen for a while. It's really funny.
I see. So getting two different ballers to define the Coriolis effect and what it's doing is the cause of some infighting. This is great.
It's hilarious.
Got conspiracy flaps claiming that you can have a gas pressure next to a vacuum without any evidence. Again, where is the evidence for this assertion?
Conspiracy Cats called me out for a debate last night in comments, and I told him I'll be here from 2 o'clock on the Nathan Oakley show. You've got an open invite, the door's open, you can come. So technically now I'm waiting for Conspiracy Cats to come and debate me here, which is quite funny. Please go read the comments from, I think it was yesterday's show, because Conspiracy Cats keeps popping up in your comments, reminding people that you were supposed to be on a non-sequitur, so you were invited, Nathan. And obviously, we all know the reasons why you're not going to go into the circle jerk of a mute button forum where everyone's just going to obfuscate the point. The invitation here is open at all times to anybody, like we've just been discussing. So every time you bring Conspiracy Cats up, yeah, I want a piece of that little one too.
It's incredible to think that he would assert that I'm not going to make him my bum boy, and yet he's chasing around after me like a bum boy.
Yeah, exactly that. He's acting exactly like a bum boy. He's acting like a little bitch. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I don't watch Conspiracy Cats anymore. You know, his appeal to the 12-year-old sense of humour wore off pretty quickly. And then when he came to present evidence, he failed. Now I've totally lost interest. But check him out, sniffing around like a dog with two dicks.
Yeah, just making noise because he's got people to make noise to, but he can't back his claim because, like I keep reminding these people, if you could back your claim and you could walk that narrow bridge of science across the lake where the alligators are, then you'd be doing it. If you could shove these things in our faces, if you had the evidence, you would be here. Even if there was a mute button involved and things were getting obfuscated, you could make your own video and say, this is why I was producing the right evidence. I had the cited information. It was the correct scientific, or whatever. But they don't have the balls because they don't have anything to back their claim up. And they can't walk this narrow bridge of science.
Hey, Thomas. How you doing?
Thomas?
Can you hear us? Got his cam on, which is a good start.
If they had anything, they'd be here.
We might find Thomas as the baller's saving grace. Can you hear us, Thomas?
Your mic's not working. Wait, was that added?
No. Drop and maybe rejoin, Thomas, because you're not giving us any audio. Ah, well, that excitement was short-lived. Can you hear us? Try again. No, nothing. Anyway. So I think you're right, Event Horizon. If they had anything to actually present, there'd be nothing standing in their way. They'd just present it. They'd steamroller us with it if they had actual evidence.
I can hear him. He's really low. Say something, Thomas.
Because I'm on iPad. This iPad sucks.
Right.
You're on an
We can
iPad.
hear you now. We can hear you, Thomas. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Good.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a weak mic, but we can just about hear you. Turns right up. Be sure to hover the mute button if you're not talking, 'cause I've got you way loud. So what can we do? Are you new, Thomas? Have you joined before? I forget.
I've been here before.
So what can we do for you today?
I was here to join in the discussion.
Any particular points you wanted to discuss?
Whatever you guys are discussing.
What side of the fence do you sit?
What side of the fence? Let's say I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence. Okay.
Let's say I'm on the fence.
So what's stopping you from observing the obvious flat nature of our world then?
Because there's evidence that the Earth is not flat.
Lay it
What
on me.
evidence in particular?
Let's hear it.
I don't have time to list all of the reasons. Astronomy, astrophysics, spatial
It's not
awareness.
science, then.
I don't have time to list everything. You need to be specific. If you think that you're going to get me to
Pick your
start
fight.
ranting about things that I think I know, that's not going to happen.
So the first thing you listed was astronomy. So you said there's evidence the Earth isn't flat, and then you immediately talked about something in the sky. So I don't really understand.
It's called evidence. It exists. It's out there. It's not my claim. It's not my evidence. It's the world around us. It's all of the things that you guys are debating. And it's, I can choose one. I can
So
say
you're
gravity.
just-
You want to talk
That's
about gravity?
religious assertions.
Let's talk about gravity, and then you guys will attack me because you say, well, that's your religious belief.
Well, do you have scientific
That's
evidence?
That's not my personal claim.
Okay.
It's Isaac Newton, if you want to be honest.
Sorry, Isaac Newton made it very clear that he makes no hypothesis about gravity.
Whatever you say.
Well, no,
The
that's what
claim
Isaac.
exists.
Sorry,
You guys
excuse
wanna
me.
just-
Sorry,
So now
just
you're
stop a
saying
second. Stop
Isaac
talking.
Newton has
Stop
nothing to do with
talking.
gravity.
That's not what I say. Did you not hear what I said? Isaac Newton says, I make no hypothesis about gravitation. That's not me saying it. That's Isaac Newton, contrary to what you just asserted. Okay?
No, that's not what I said. You're trying to put words in my mouth. Isaac Newton is associated with the discovery and knowledge of gravity.
Sorry, what was that
You
discovery?
cannot deny that. It's a historical claim.
Sorry, do you want to tell me what the discovery was?
Excuse me?
You said he's associated with the discovery of gravity. So, what discovery? What are you talking about?
The word we use to describe the force, it's a word called gravity. I didn't make up the word.
Right, but there is no force involved. So, what force are you referring to?
It's called the force of gravity. You claim there's no force involved. Science claims there is a force involved. I agree with science.
Sorry, science doesn't claim anything. That's a reification fallacy. Science doesn't have lips, lungs, a tongue. It doesn't claim anything. It's a methodology.
The methodology exists. Attack it. Don't
Sorry.
attack me. Attack the methodology.
Excuse me. Sorry. What science do you have for gravity?
The gravitational constant, math.
Sorry, that's mathematics. Do you not know the difference between mathematics and science?
Yes, that's how the scientific method is conducted. You
Oh,
make an
really?
observation and then you verify it using other methods.
Sorry,
like math.
so like maths. So do you want to give me the mathematical formula for scurvy, please?
Excuse me?
Would you give me the mathematical formula for scurvy?
No.
Why not? Everything in science is quantifiable by maths, is it not, according to you? According to Rumpus.
Yeah, so you're
Sorry, I hadn't
expecting
finished
me
talking.
to
I hadn't finished
quantify-
talking. Do you want to stop talking? Do you mind not interrupting me? According to you, it's quantifiable by mathematics. Now I'm describing a disease, and I'd like you to quantify it with mathematics. Because that must, according to you, be possible.
That's a ludicrous suggestion. I'm in no position to quantify scurvy using math.
Yeah, that's because you can't. Because science doesn't deal with mathematics. It deals with cause and effect relationships.
That's your personal
Yeah, you're doing
opinion.
it again.
There are
You're talking
people who say
before I finish my sentence.
everything can
So
be-
before I finish my sentence, you've started talking. Please don't do that again. So, you cannot quantify scurvy with mathematics, contrary to what you have asserted. Okay? So it's not mathematically based. It's cause and effect based. And I'm asking you, considering you have said that science has proven gravity, to present some science.
Okay, so if I had like a way to share my screen and pull up websites and show you information that's regurgitated, is that enough for you, or do I have to generate a thesis myself of all original information to satisfy your personal requirement?
Sorry, it's not my personal requirement. Your assertion is we have scientific evidence of gravity, is it not?
That's correct.
So, can you present that, please?
It's called the gravitational constant.
Yeah, that's
Google
a
it.
mathematical formula. We've just done this once. Are you going to literally piss it in my face a second time? I don't want maths.
I'm not going to randomly pick mathematical formulas
Not
from
maths.
a table or a list
Not
of formulas that
maths.
perform functions.
Are you deaf?
to satisfy
Are you deaf? I don't want maths.
Why should I?
I don't want maths. I'm not asking for maths. That's a straw
You
man.
said you want formulas.
Listen again. Don't say I'm not going to give maths. I haven't asked for it. I've asked for science.
The science is an exercise where you drop an object from a certain height and you time that object how long it takes to fall, and then you use math to predict that same time lapse.
That's not science.
That's how science works. That's science.
Oh, really?
That's
Give me the
already been
hypothesis.
done.
No problem.
There's a calculator online that you can go to, and you can punch in the numbers. How high is the object? How much
So
does
that's a
it weigh, and so
calculation.
forth.
That's mathematics. Sorry, excuse me. A calculator. That sounds like maths.
It does. It's an
Yeah, that's 'cause
analog
it's
for
not
the real
science.
world. What you're doing
That's
is you're
not
dropping
science.
an object.
Sorry, you're just
And you're
talking
observing how
non-stop
the
and you're
object
not
behaves.
acknowledging what I'm
Can you let
saying.
me speak, please?
Yeah, but that's because you're not
Excuse me,
acknowledging
sir.
what I'm saying. You just keep asserting
Can you
something
let me
after I've...
speak, please?
Listen, just listen for a second. You have asserted mathematics. I've said that's not science. Then you keep redoing it. So when I talk over you, it's to interrupt and point out that you have completely ignored what I have said and carried on regardless, asserting that mathematics is science. It isn't. So before we can go forward, please can you acknowledge that you have already conceded? If it was maths, you'd be able to give me a formula for scurvy, wouldn't you?
That's a non sequitur.
No,
You're
it's
begging the
not.
question.
No, scurvy is an observed phenomena.
You're claiming the
Sorry,
efficacy-
I was
hang on a
talking
second.
again.
Listen,
You're
boys, you don't
interrupting.
understand now, my
You've
friend.
disagreed, and I'm
You're
correcting
claiming
you.
the efficacy of math
Listen, don't
hinges
rumpus the
on
hangout.
Whether or not
Don't rumpus the hangout. Scurvy is a phenomena that you can observe, and you can establish a cause through scientific experimentation. However, you cannot, but try to contain yourself. You cannot quantify it mathematically. You can qualify it scientifically. So I don't want maths. I want science, an establishment of a cause and effect relationship through experimentation, driven by hypothesis. That's science. It's not formulas. It's not maths. So if you now reassert it, I will talk over you and point out that you have ignored what I've just said. Because you've already done it once, maybe twice, I'd like you to acknowledge what I have just explained. Please.
I'm not going to acknowledge it because I disagree with you.
No problem. Where do you
Therefore,
disagree?
I have my own position, and you can begin to talk over me or say whatever you want, but that's your personal opinion against my personal opinion.
No, it isn't.
Sure it is.
So, the scientific method is my personal opinion, is it?
Math is used in
Sorry,
the scientific
again, I'll have to talk over you. We are not talking about mathematics. That's why I asked you to acknowledge it. You refuse and continue to assert it. Where do you
asserted
disagree?
math, therefore we're
Where
talking
do you
about it.
disagree with me?
I
I've
put it into the conversation. I suggested it's a method by which we can test gravity.
Science would be a method that you can establish a cause with, yes. So can you give me some of that, please?
Math is used in science as a tool.
Oh, really? So can you give me the tools used for scurvy? Give me those tools now.
Non sequitur.
Sorry. You have
Quantifying
just
scurvy
said,
with math has
you have
nothing to
just
do with
stated,
gravity.
it's not a non sequitur. You stated specifically that maths would be used as the tools. Now I give you a phenomena, scurvy. Use your
We're trying to
tools.
qualify math.
Excuse
to
me,
quantify
I hadn't
scurvy.
finished. So you have given me tools, mathematics. I give you a phenomena, something science definitely deals with. Now cope with that phenomena using your blunt little instrument of maths. Off you go.
No.
Oh no, hand wave dismissal time. Unfortunately, you can't use your blunt little tool on scurvy. It's not qualifiable using mathematics. It is, however, able to be established as a causal relationship with science, which is what I'm asking for. Science deals with the natural world. Mathematics deals with numbers and equations. I would like to know how the natural world works, not how your mathematics works. It's fairly simple.
Your claim about science is incorrect. Science is a language of observation, and it uses many different types of observations, ways to document those observations and test those observations. Math is one of those methods. You can't deny
really?
that.
Excellent. Give me the methodology used to study scurvy using mathematics.
Well, in order to quantify it actually at the molecular and atomic level, you would need to count all of the atomic particles and give them a value.
Excellent. And then will that give you a causal relationship with scurvy? What causes it?
It may or may not. You would
Oh,
have
really?
to
well,
collect the raw
unfortunately,
data and study
Sunshine,
it.
unfortunately, they've already done it. Surprisingly, they established the cause of scurvy with science, and no maths was used. So what the hell are you talking about? If we must
That's
use
another
maths,
non sequitur.
why didn't
That's a
they use
presumption
maths? If that's
that because
essential,
maths was
again,
used-
you rumpus me as I point out the flaw in your argument. You don't have to like
a
it,
non sequitur.
but maths isn't possible to use when establishing the cause of scurvy, even though you have just asserted that that must be used, that maths is the language, whatever bullshit you come up with. Yeah, I give you an example of a phenomena that has definitely been scienced, and it didn't use maths, and you've got no comeback other than to say no.
Yeah. So you don't understand quantum mechanics, apparently.
Sorry, you think you understand quantum mechanics?
I do to a point.
Oh really?
I
We're
know
not talking
math
about
used
we're not
to
talking about
quantify.
quantum mechanics. Why this subject change? We were talking about your belief in a ball Earth, and you said gravity, and then said science.
What subject change? We were
Yeah.
talking about scurvy.
Yeah, we were talking about the scientific method establishing a cause and effect, and your claim that mathematics was required because your gravity has mathematics based on it, right?
I never said math is required. You're putting words in my mouth. I said suggested math could be used to create
Well,
a hypothesis and
yes.
an analog.
So you
of
suggest
existence.
maths can be used. Now use maths for scurvy.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh, well, that's
a
because you
non-sequitur.
can't, you complete muppet. Yeah, so while you assert that maths could be used, I give you an example where maths can't be used.
I completely understand. I'm not going to go to work for you and quantify scurvy using math.
Yeah, because you can't.
I probably can't.
No,
I'm not the
no,
type of
no,
person
it's
that sits there and
already
creates
been,
an
you don't
algorithm
seem to be getting
that
it.
will quantify
You don't
molecular
seem to be
structure.
getting it. It's already been done. Science has already had their way with scurvy, and they didn't need
How many ways are
maths.
there to skin a cat, Nathan?
Hello,
How
they
many ways
didn't
to
need
skin a
maths
cat,
like
buddy?
you're asserting. So you're saying I could get down to the molecular level, so I must use maths. They've already done it without, you idiot.
Why am I an idiot if they've done something without
Because
math?
you've said you
How
could
do you-
use
you can do it
maths.
with-
You said you could use maths. I give you an example, and you can't, making you wrong. You
Why
keep
are you
asserting
calling
it.
me
Oh,
names?
you don't like this. You asked why, I'm telling you. You've asserted something that's nonsense. I've ripped it a new asshole. Now you keep reasserting
doesn't
it.
mean
That makes you
anything.
stupid. When
Calling
you talk
somebody
over me,
names for-
when I get to the point of why you're stupid, that makes you ignorant. You don't want to know why you're stupid. You just want to keep hold of your religious faith in gravity.
Well, you just lost the argument because you've begun to insult me for no reason.
No, you gave us a demonstration of your stupidity, asserting that maths would be a tool you could use if you were sciencing things. Well, no, I give you an example of where maths can't be used, and what you do is talk over me continually. So that's what you do, and when I point that out, that would be a demonstration of stupidity, not an insult.
Nathan, when you turn the discussion against the person and start calling them childish names, that means you have no argument and you...
No, I have demonstrated how you are stupid because you keep asserting that maths would be a tool you could use. Then I give you an example and ask you to use your tool, and you can't. That makes you stupid for
I'm not
asserting
going
it.
to. I'm not a person who uses math to study diseases. Okay?
Really?
That's a non sequitur and a red herring, and you are tangential.
No,
Tangent.
really. Sounds like you could qualify that red herring then.
You just lost this discussion.
Go on then,
If you
take
want
us
to call
through
it
it.
a contest.
Sorry, this is
Okay.
a logical fallacy you've asserted me of using. So,
You're attacking me.
you won't let me
Why
finish
are
my
you attacking
sentence. You're not
personally?
letting me finish my sentence. You've said I've used a red herring fallacy. Now qualify it. Take us through it. Explain it. Don't just assert it.
The red herring fallacy is simply a distraction. It's when somebody throws something out that's a tangent of the current discussion, trying to lead the discussion in a slightly different direction, trying to sort of obscure the fact that that person doesn't understand the current subject matter.
Oh, right.
what-
I implicitly understand that you have specifically stated that maths is a tool that you could use if you wanted to science things. Then I give you an example of scurvy. Not a red herring, an example of where mathematics couldn't be used. That's not a red herring. It's a direct attack on your assertion. Not a red herring.
Hey, okay, Nathan, prove that math empirically could not be used to achieve the same result.
Sorry, it wasn't used.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't used.
You have to prove.
Sorry.
Okay, you're saying that because math.
I don't have to prove that. Sorry, the burden of proof reversal won't work here. Okay, listen up, sunshine. I'll explain what a logical fallacy is to you. Yeah. So you think that you can get me to prove the non-existence? That would be called an argument from ignorance fallacy. So, sunshine, listen up.
I did not.
Listen up. I don't have to disprove. Listen up. Listen, you're very stupid. You can't listen. You have to talk. That's what ignorant people do. So, I don't have to disprove your assertion. You have to prove it. That's called the... Listen up. That's the other fallacy you're guilty of, called the burden of proof reversal. Unlike your red herring, which was incorrect, false, and wrong, you are definitely now guilty of the burden of proof reversal. You have made a claim, and you are demanding that I disprove its non-existence. So no, you prove its existence. You're claiming it.
I'm false. Okay. Can I speak? Can I speak? It's called falsifying the claim, and that's when you say something like, why wasn't math used?
Sorry.
It's a simple question.
No, that's not the case.
It's a simple objective question.
It's not the case. No, you've hijacked a scientific term. So you've said the word falsifying. This is taken from the scientific.
I just falsified your argument.
I'm not allowed to take apart
math...
your bullshit. Let's shut you up. Clearly the rumpus button's needed at this point. The word falsification, when you're talking about science, which we absolutely are, the context here is science, the falsification stage is built into your hypothesis. It's called a null hypothesis. It gives you the zero difference result. So you can falsify your hypothesis when you perform systematic experimentation. It's falsified if you get a null result, zero difference. That's where falsification gives you some sort of science. Just saying, how don't you prove that maths can't be used in science? That's called bollocks.
That's not what I said.
That's called logical fallacy. That's called an argument from ignorance. Okay?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said, why wasn't math used? More specifically, who chose the method?
The method is
Why
called...
was
I'll answer. Is that a question I get to answer? The method is the method of science. The person who chose to use that method was the person that wanted to establish a cause and effect relationship. That's how that method was used.
Okay. Why do we use math
okay.
in astronomy?
Okay, so they wanted to establish... Listen! So they wanted to establish a cause, so they didn't go to the chalkboard and the maths. They went to the scientific method.
The scientific method in biology requires a lot of math.
What? To establish cause? So, okay.
Molecular structure.
No worries. So, scurvy.
They all have numerical values based on
We're
elements.
back to this again, aren't we? So there's lots of maths used in the scientific method in biology. Would you count scurvy as biological? Excuse me, can I just answer my question again for the third or fourth time and get the same response, demonstrating to the audience that you're an obfuscator? So we've got scurvy, definitely biological. Would you like to give me the maths for it?
Should I look it up? You want to wait?
Oh, or maybe you could find where they did the science.
Nathan, you're creating an impossible standard of proof in
No.
an instant, and then requiring it be met
Not at all.
in some unknown
No,
way.
it's not impossible. It's been done using science. Contrary to your
But you're
math...
suggesting I do
Oh,
it
you're
right
just
now
talking over me constantly. That's okay. I can shut you up with my rumpus button. No problem. Yeah, I'm not setting an impossible task. It is impossible to find a causal relationship for scurvy using mathematics. That's not an impossible task. It's been done using science. Not impossible. Just impossible to use your bullshit version of science, which requires mathematics.
Your claim is a non sequitur.
No, it's not a non sequitur. It directly addresses your claim that we must use mathematics, which is incorrect.
Prove it's impossible.
Sorry, that's an argument from ignorance. Do I have to go over this again? I don't have to prove it's impossible. I don't have to prove non-existence. You, the claimant, have to prove it's real. That's the burden of proof reversal asking me to do it for you. So if you have a
I didn't
claim,
make any claim.
oh really?
All I
So
did was
maths,
suggest
so
maths
maths
to be
is
used
a
as a tool.
so maths is
Here
a
we are.
necessary tool, is it, for science? We have to use maths, or can we just establish
all I
cause and
said.
effect
I
using
said maths
systematic?
can be used as a
Oh,
tool.
rumpus button needed again. So can we establish cause and effect using systematic experimentation and independent and dependent variables, or must we use maths?
Math uses variables. We can
So
use
what?
math. We can use
We're not
many
talking
different
about
methods.
maths. We're talking about science. How many times? God!
Suffer false equivalency.
We're not using
You
maths. We're
create a false
using
equivalency.
science.
You are claiming math and science are bound together. I'm saying
No, I'm not.
one can be used.
Yeah, that's a misrepresentation. No, I'm not claiming they're bound together. I'm claiming that they are mutually
Am I?
exclusive.
No, I'm not. I'm claiming one can be used with the other if so needed.
Oh, really? That's fascinating. So, if so
That's all
needed.
said. Guys, I haven't made any empirical claims here today.
Well,
I
why
suggested
not?
we talk about how math can be used as a tool.
Yeah, it's a scientific method. It's a very simple and established methodology for establishing
Absolutely.
cause and effect relationships.
Very strict. Very
Yeah.
strict. Uses a lot of documentation and forum where you share your idea with many other people and they all put their input into the idea.
Oh, shut your stupid mouth. No, science doesn't involve bloody forums. It involves systematic experimentation based on hypothesis. It does not involve forums, you absolute retard. No, it does not involve discussion. It involves experimentation.
Forum. Oh, really? So when somebody comes up with an idea in a vacuum, it can't be challenged?
Hang on, let me just challenge.
Comes up with an idea in a vacuum.
Let me just challenge.
You words you don't understand.
Isaac Newton was a brilliant man, but he was the only person working on what he was working on
Thomas,
at the
let me challenge you on what you just said about quora. Define quora.
consensus, scientific
Nope.
consensus
No,
in the scientific community.
it just means of the required number. It means more than one. Quora, quora.
That's a semantic definition. Okay, the definition of quora in science is when
Sorry, definitions are semantics. That's what semantics is. To say that's just semantics.
I know.
Yeah, that's what
This man's
semantics
got using
is.
words he doesn't understand.
scientific quorum is an agreement among multiple scientists.
There is no agreement in science. There is experimentation. There's no agreement amongst men in white coats. Consensus doesn't come into it. Systematic experimentation.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's not consensus. How many times have I got to tell these idiots? Do you think men in white coats sit around and decide what reality is? No, they don't. That's just idiot men who are pretender clowns. Science is an establishment of a cause and effect through systematic experimentation, not men sitting around discussing it on forums.
Of course. What
But
I'm
why
saying
would you
is
assert
when
that-
you go through the
Gives a crap what they
Can I
say on
speak,
Quora.
Can I please speak? I just want to speak. When scientists go through years of experimentation and work, and they establish a hypothesis or a theory,
Oh my god. They don't go through experimentation to establish hypothesis. You don't understand what you're talking about. You are mentally incapable of having this conversation. They don't do experiments to develop hypothesis. You're an idiot.
wow.
Yeah, wow. You are an idiot. They don't perform experiments to develop hypothesis. You are stupid. To assert such idiocy makes you a clown.
Are you serious, Nathan? You're seriously rejecting the reality of how the scientific community works.
You don't understand
share
the
their
scientific
ideas.
the scientific community work. The scientific community is men in white coats talking on forums. That's not science. Science establishes cause and effect through systematic experimentation. That experimentation, the thing you said that they do to develop hypothesis, the experimentation itself is hypothesis driven. The hypothesis is what drives the experiments. You complete idiot.
I agree
The
with
scientific
that.
method is
but
more
there's
than
also
just
hypothesis
reasoning
derived
driven.
from
dude.
experimentation.
Sorry,
there's
so
an
let him say it again. He just said
extrapolation.
hypothesis is derived from experimentation. Say it again. I want to hear it nice and clear.
Yes, you can derive many hypotheses through experimentation. You can experiment in different ways to find a way to hypothesize a new idea about something.
Sorry,
moving to a
so
higher level.
your experiment gives you a hypothesis, does it?
A hypothesis can be developed over time from a simple concept in the mind.
Oh
And
my
then-
god, my friend, you're using words that you don't understand. You're
He doesn't
talking
understand what the hell he's
absolute
talking
word
about.
salad, mate.
What are you
really
talking
are.
about, you guys?
You're talking
Hypothesis
about
is
complex
an idea.
hypotheses, Thomas. That's not the
If you
What are
that's
you
not the
talking
type
about?
of
You guys are attacking
hypotheses
a
you
word now.
use to establish proof.
Experimentation is used to establish information. Raw
No,
data.
it establishes cause, idiot.
You create raw data through experimentation. Take a step back,
No,
Nathan.
you don't.
Why are you calling me an idiot?
Because you establish a cause and effect
You know what,
relationship.
dude? Check this out. I'm such a gnarly fucking asshole.
Don't
I
swear.
can tear
No
into you
swearing.
and fuck you up
Don't
so
swear.
quickly.
Oh, right. So
Don't-
this is what it descends
Here we
to.
go.
I can't
Why
win
should
the
I do that?
argument. Check it out. I can't win the argument, so I'm going to beat
Should I
you up.
call you retarded person? That's what I think.
You're going
Why
to beat
should
me
I do
up,
that?
are you? That's what you're going to do because you're losing the argument and being humiliated. You're going to beat me up.
I'm not doing anything
You're
like that.
technically
I'm
wrong.
asking you why I shouldn't.
Thomas, you're technically wrong. Very
Everything
simple.
you said,
What am I
mate,
I'm
was
pointing
wrong.
about?
at how you're technically wrong.
Yeah, we're just
What
pointing
am
out
I
how
wrong
wrong you
about,
are and
Erwin?
you don't like it. And then
Explain
you
it.
Why
start
don't you
swearing
listen
and
to
threatening
what
people.
Nathan's telling
It's
you?
incredible. You're so wrong. All we're doing is pointing it out to you. And every time we try, you shout and scream and talk over us. And then you threaten to beat us
But I'm
up.
not
That's
wrong.
unbelievably
You're
pathetic.
arguing semantics of things and accusing me of being wrong about something, and it's not even
Fine.
my
Yeah,
word.
check it out.
Very
Let's see if this gets...
defined.
Hold on, let's just try. See if this gets called an humbling. You're juvenile.
That's meaningless.
No.
Tangential.
No, let's just explain. You've lost an argument and then threatened to beat up somebody on the internet. That's juvenile. That's a demonstration
What did
of
I
you
do?
being...
I threatened what?
You said, I could fuck you up.
Yeah, I could fucking start calling you names and being a little pussy like you're being.
Yeah, right. So you're losing your shit because you're losing.
You just lost your shit, dude.
You're triggered.
Yeah,
Losing
Yeah,
your
totally
you
shit
are
for a
triggered.
half an
completely
hour,
triggered,
Nathan.
man.
Triggered.
And I'm saying
triggered.
that that behavior is juvenile.
Yeah,
just-
now you guys are accusing me of being triggered. You know what? This is ridiculous, you guys.
And when you start
You're attacking
swearing
me.
and spouting rubbish and
Yeah.
talking faster than you can think, yeah, you're triggered.
Yeah, right. So that's it. When you guys have a discussion and like, oh, he's triggered. Let's attack him for that.
No.
I thought we were
You
talking
made
about
filthy,
math.
mate.
No worries,
You
we can
are.
bring it back on
You
track.
made
No problem.
0 sense.
No
You
problem.
used words
No.
that you don't
Let's
understand.
cut this crap. Stop. So no problem.
I've
I'll bring
been
it right back on
attacked.
track. Let's see if I can
I've
without
been
being
attacked
interrupted by a
systematically
triggered
by
man.
people who don't wanna
So
discuss
you
what I
can't
wanna
let
talk
it get
about.
back on track. I'm, as the host, trying to bring it back onto the conversation in hand. So the conversation and assertion from you is that mathematics is a tool that you can use if you need to science something. Is that correct or incorrect?
I don't know what sciencing something is because your definitions, that's sort of ambiguous to me. But math
Yeah.
can be used as a tool to gather data for the scientific method.
Really?
That's my statement. Sticking by it. You can record it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
We're going out
going
live,
live,
you
mate.
idiot. So, if you can use mathematics, yeah, I've done this 4 times. How would you do that with a problem like scurvy? Your phenomena observed is scurvy. So, what data are you going to gather to use the scientific method?
Okay, I'm going to take this really seriously. What data do you need? How would we go about this? Do you
No
have
problem.
any presupposed ideas
I can
about
tell
how
you.
we would go about this? Or
Yeah,
do
yeah.
I need to come up with the
I'll tell you.
concept and
I'll
the
tell you.
theory myself?
I'll tell you if you can shut up. The data we need.
I was asking you a question.
Yeah, I am answering it. The data we need is the...
You sound mad.
No, just trying to speak with somebody constantly talking over me. I'll try once more. Let's see if you can keep your mouth shut long enough to get the answer of the data we require. That was your question. I'll clarify given the amount of interruptions. Is your question, what data do we need?
In a way, yes. I'm not going to let you define it. I'm saying, what data do you want if you know what you want?
Sorry. So what data do we need? Would that be a sufficient substitution for that word salad?
That was Zen, man. That was Zen.
I can suggest whatever. I can collect all the data. I can collect specific parts of certain data. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not word salad.
So do you need to know what data we require? And then I can give you the answer.
Do you understand how much data could be generated by quantifying a fractal structure like
That's
a
lovely.
molecular
That's
structure?
what we would call a red herring.
No, that's just following the conversation. I'm taking
Yeah,
this
it's not.
fucking seriously,
We're not
guys.
talking about quantum
You're talking
anything, are we?
Quantifying scurvy using math. Okay, we got to figure
that
out
would
how
be,
to do
that
this.
would be
I
my
need to know more
question.
about your
Hello,
requirement.
hello. That would be my question to you, right? Hello. So the data we
You're
need.
making this like a
Oh,
joke.
I'd started. I left a
really
gap.
Seriously, you're still
I love
laughing.
it. How triggered is this guy?
Question, yeah.
So I'll tell you what data we need. What we'd like. We've got scurvy, the observed phenomena. What we'd like in terms of data is the cause. That's the data we need.
The cause.
That's right, the cause.
Why scurvy exists? Hang on. Why scurvy exists, or why scurvy is a disease that affects humans, or why
Just
scurvy
what
is
causes
a vitamin
it?
deficiency.
No, what
based on
causes
vitamin-
it?
Did you not hear my answer? Sorry, you seem to be
Causes it.
substituting my answer for a different answer. I'll say it again.
Okay, what causes scurvy?
Sorry,
Vitamin
that's the
D
data
is
we
the
need.
cause of
Yeah,
scurvy.
okay, excellent. We've got there. We're in agreement. What causes it? So, how are you going to gather up your mathematical data on that then?
That's going to be a challenge. We're going to try to figure out how to quantify.
It is going to be a challenge for mathematics, isn't it? Science, on the other hand, managed to find the cause. It's amazing that, isn't it? Challenging for mathematics and entirely possible for science. Amazing.
Why are you laughing at me? This
Because
is
you're
a serious-
stupid. Because you're a buffoon. Because you're an idiot. Because you're continually asserting that maths is science. And when we come to give you an example where science rules and gives you a cause, you continually say that it's difficult for maths to do. Yeah, it's damn near impossible for maths to do. That's why science exists. So you can establish cause and effect relationships through a methodology known as the scientific method. That's what maths can't achieve.
But it can. We just have to go through
Excellent!
the process of
You can
finding
use
the
it, so that means
Excellent,
you need
excellent. No, Arwin, excellent. It can achieve it.
How about
Give me,
this?
okay,
How about
so
this?
give me the maths.
Do this.
Give me the maths for scurvy
Let's-
then. Let's see it achieve it. Let's see if this Dumbo can't listen for the 5th time. Give me your maths for scurvy then.
I don't have it.
Oh, what a shock! Science, on the other hand, established a cause. So where maths failed, big fail for maths right there, sunshine. Despite your assertions that maths would be the language of science, it seems that it isn't. And what do you know? The language of science is hypothesis. You know what? Scientific prediction based, not maths based. Hey,
All you're suggesting
Hey,
is
Mike,
that
how you
it's
doing?
difficult to
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
difficult to quantify biological hypotheses or ideas with math. Is that what you're suggesting, Nathan?
Math
no, I'm
is
asking.
a tool
No,
to
no,
assist
you're
you.
suggesting
It's
it's
not
possible.
A foundation.
Sorry, obviously, my name's Arwin. So you're
didn't
saying
say
it's
it was a
possible to
foundation.
do with maths, and I'm saying no. That's where science comes in.
I
And then
didn't
you
say
say
it was a
no.
foundation,
Oh
Arwin.
right, no chance for me to answer then. You say
can't use it.
maths can do it. I
involved.
say no. Otherwise, you'd
Math
be doing
is
it for
like
scurvy.
light. You can shine on something.
It's not really involved in the scientific method.
Sure it
Math
is.
is like a
No,
light
it's
you can
not.
shine on.
Excellent. Let's try it for a 6th time.
you take
Let's try it for a
math
6th
and you
time.
apply it to
6th
something and you
time
learn
of trying
something
with this
about it,
Dumbo.
like shining
Let's
a
try
light
it
on
again.
something.
Let's
You
try
can
it again
see
for a
stuff
6th
about it.
time.
fuck's
It
sake,
can.
dude.
So give it us for scurvy. Give us the maths. Let's see it.
Your suggestion that I give you the math for scurvy is so unrealistic, it's laughable.
So what makes you
Okay.
think you need? So what makes you think you need maths to do science then?
I'm a guy in his fucking bed, dude.
Don't
I'm-
swear. This is you getting very triggered again. So you say it's ludicrous for you to assert a phenomena and then say I should use maths. Well, that's the very thing that you're suggesting, my friend. It seems that you're
I
tying
never
yourself
said
up in
anybody
knots.
should do anything, Nathan.
All right. Well, why do we need maths to do science then? That's your assertion.
I didn't say why. You know what? You twist words, dude. You've twisted my suggestion that math can be used as a tool to gather information for scientific method. You've twisted that 20
Okay,
That's
let's do it for a
hilarious.
7th time.
That's actually
Seventh
what
time.
I
Let's see if we can
said.
get up to 10. Let's see if we can get up to 10. So, 7th time, give me that application of your tool mathematics with Scurvy. 7th time.
No, I'm not going to give you that.
Oh, why not? It's really useful, man. We need maths for science. Why wouldn't you want to give me that?
For the same reason you can't give me the dimensions of the Earth.
What are you talking about? That's not a claim I'm making. Another red herring. Wow, it seems you're projecting your use of red herrings onto me. I single-handedly dismantle your argument and humiliate you using your own examples and your own words, and then you use a red herring fallacy to distract away from the devastating argument we're having. It's okay. Go in peace. Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus.
You know how many years it might take?
Awen. Go in
I
peace.
could do it right now
In
on the
you
fly.
trust.
It's not that hard to formulate
Oh,
something.
you're going to... Okay, Arwen's going to do it, Nathan.
No, I'm not going to
Arwen's
do
got
it.
covered.
You're the one that actually thinks that's significant.
On the spot,
somehow.
in a minute, Arwen says he could do this.
Yeah.
And so it is possible, right? Is this what we're talking about, Arwen? So now my idea
Yeah,
is
but
possible.
it's not
and you
needed. You can just say it. Look, math is like a language. Okay?
It is a
You
language,
don't
of course.
always need it. Sometimes
agree
it's
with
not very convenient, actually. Like with the scientific
It
method that
becomes
establishes a
unnecessary.
cause.
It's unnecessary
It's very weird to
cumbersome.
express that in math. You
So?
could do it, but yeah,
You
it's more
could
work
do
to
it.
do that than to actually just use the scientific method using
But Nathan said
common
I'm
language.
retarded to even suggest such a thing, Arwen. Nathan said I'm retarded to suggest such a thing.
Well, do it then.
No,
Okay.
no, for claiming that it's needed. You don't need it at all.
I never said it's needed. That's the thing. You let Nathan twist my words. I never said it's needed.
Oh, I did that?
You
Oh
just-
my
X
God, I'm
minus
so
Scurvy.
sorry for letting Nathan twist your words. Sorry, Nathan, for abusing you like that.
My
I
bad.
never said anything is necessary. Okay, we're talking about an invented language that was made up, intellectual construct.
Yeah, and
Use
it's
it or
not
don't.
needed when you apply the scientific method. That's our point.
The scientific method is a method. You
Yeah,
can
and
use
it
your
doesn't
eyes,
require-
your ears, you can taste stuff.
Yes,
I mean, there are
yes, we
people
know
who
what the
have-
scientific.
there are
I
tasters.
assure you,
Tasters.
both us
Oh
on the
my
panel and the audience
use
know what the
science,
scientific method
they
is. You don't need to
Prove
tell
they
us.
can taste.
No, they
The
call it
science of
Talking
science.
constantly.
They
You don't
call
seem to want to
it
let anyone
science.
else talk.
It's not.
No, they use
They've
controlled
got science for smiles.
Yeah,
the
it's kind
intentions.
of like science, but it's not.
They use controlled
It just
conditions.
looks like
and
it.
that's the
It's
scientific
similar.
method,
It's
and they do it very
mimicry.
controlled.
See,
very
he's just
controlled
talking
way.
constantly, right? Listen, if someone else is talking, don't start talking again, okay?
Your feed is garbled, Nathan. I can't hear you correctly.
Well, try stop talking for a while then.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
breaking
you're out
up,
of
Nathan.
you're out of phase there, buddy.
You there, Nathan?
I can hear Arwen perfectly. I just can't hear
Yeah,
Nathan.
just
Yeah, you can hear me.
now
Now I can hear you.
Right. So,
So we have
Can I
tools
ask a
in our
question?
toolbox.
but there's obviously
Oh, here we go.
misperception.
Oh, here we go. He was just about to piss it back in our faces after 7
Oh,
attempts.
sorry.
Seven
Someone
attempts.
else was going to ask a question.
7 attempts he's had to qualify his using this mathematical tool in his toolbox on Scurvy. Let's see if we have to do it an 8th time if he tries to piss it back in our faces again.
It's a bunch of work. Are you going to pay me $35 an hour? Come on.
Sorry, what was this? Another red herring?
Yeah, it's a bunch of work. I'm not going to do a bunch of free work for you. I'm not a biologist.
Sorry,
Call that a fucking red herring if you want.
what work are you talking about? What work?
All the work in math you'd have to do to meet your requirement for scurvy.
They
To
didn't use
quantify
that though.
scurvy and
Sorry.
way to figure out the cause of scurvy
Google
with
it.
math.
Google
That's
it.
a lot of fucking work.
Google it.
Point
You don't
is,
have to
mate,
do any
you
work.
can't.
Just Google it. I'm not asking you to do anything. They've already
That's
done
not
it.
the point.
Sorry, sorry.
You
You're not.
can't prove
Yeah,
that you
I was
can't-
going to tell me that's not the point before I finish my sentence. Rumpus button required. You can Google it. This has already been established using cause and effect reasoning, hypothesis-driven experimentation. They've already found the cause of it, you idiot. So I'm not asking you to go away and figure out what scurvy is with maths.
That
That's
doesn't
not
mean
the point.
anything.
You're just too
Yeah, you
stupid to
are.
understand
You're
the point.
asking me to redo
Yeah,
the
and
work
now
that's
you're
already
still
been done
talking
using
over me
math.
Why don't
again.
you stop
So
talking and
this is
listen
what
for
rumpus
crying out loud.
assholes do. When they're losing and the devastating point comes, they start talking over the top of the other person. That's what you're doing. Just accept that you're being humiliated. They've already...
Give me a break.
Oh, here he goes again. So they've already established the cause of scurvy. And you know what? They didn't use mathematics. But you seem to keep wanting to assert that that's the tool in the toolbox that they can use. Right?
They could use it, yeah, but they didn't. That doesn't mean anything. This is all non sequitur
Yeah,
begging
it
the
means
question.
that math is an
Next question.
aftermath.
Why did they use the method they did?
Because that's the method used to establish cause and effect. They used the scientific method. Surprisingly, they didn't go to mathematics when they wanted to find out the cause of something. They went straight to the scientific method, and they established their independent and dependent variables. They formulated a null and an alternative hypothesis, and then they went forward and did systematic experimentation to validate or invalidate their presumed causes of the effect. And you know what? Eventually, they established what the cause actually was. They scienced it. That's how they established the cause. They didn't do any maths. None.
Why do we have to use math to figure out what the cause of scurvy is?
You don't.
You don't.
That's the point. My
that's a
God,
red
this
herring.
guy's stupid. That's our point. You complete retard. That's the point we're making.
So you expose yourself when you explode and start insulting me after a certain question.
Look who's talking, dude. Look who's talking.
Yeah.
Trigger happy
talking
tea.
So, in the words of Rastahat, this is the guy at the party
You're a
that's fallen asleep
sociopath, Darwin.
drunk,
You tried to lure me
keeps
into
talking over absolutely everybody at the party and being obnoxious, but when he fell asleep drunk, somebody drew a big massive cock on his head. He doesn't know he's got a massive dick drawing on his head. He thinks everyone else is laughing at something different. We're laughing at you because you're stupid, because you're ignorant, and because you won't shut up. The reason you won't shut up is because you're losing this argument. We don't need mathematics to establish a cause and effect relationship. Now, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to like it. You can keep asserting that the toolbox scientists go to is maths, but you're wrong. That's tough luck. If you don't like it,
No,
tough.
this is a historical account. If you guys want to attack me, that's fine, but...
Sorry, I don't care about the historic
Yeah,
account. I don't care about
Discovery
history.
is math.
This is, sorry, is this the next straw man? We're not talking about history. We're talking about science. We're not talking about maths. We're talking about science.
Sure we are. Science and math are connected. That's why I'm talking about it.
No, that's the point we've just been making for the last half an hour. We're not establishing cause and effect with mathematics. We establish cause and effect with science. So you can try and censor reality and talk over the top of me with every single breath.
Really?
Yeah. But it won't work.
Can you define science for me without math?
So yeah, science establishes cause and effect through systematic experimentation based on hypothesis. Hypothesis establishes an independent and a dependent variable. The dependent variable would be your observed phenomena, and the independent variable would be the thing you vary and manipulate as a researcher to cause the effect. This isn't maths, this is science.
So how do you quantify things in science?
Sorry,
Like if you need to count.
sorry, just listen up.
Use-
We don't...
you know, use the-
Listen,
use the
you've asked a
method of
question, now
assigning a
shut
value.
up!
Assign
How do we
value.
quantify things? That's a question. Shut your mouth and listen to the answer. We don't. We establish
Wow.
cause and effect.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we're
So
not looking to
when we're
quantify
working
things.
with
We are looking for causes.
Multiple items in a cause and effect relationship. Is it fair to say that we could count those items and quantify them using math?
Yeah,
After
you can, but
after
don't
you've figured
need
out
to.
your cause, you can do what the bloody hell you like with it. I don't care. However, science
Well,
will
let's say we
still
have
go
a cause
forward.
and
Here he
effect.
goes again. Science will still go forward, establishing a causal relationship between things through systematic experimentation based on hypothesis. Science will continue to do that as long as science exists.
Right, now you go.
Okay.
If you have two apples and you add one apple, what's the cause and effect relationship there?
I don't even understand the question. You've got
I
one
know, right?
apple. What?
Yeah,
are
he's
you
asking a
even
mathematical
talking about?
question and then
I'm-
asking him to give a
Listen,
causal
Listen,
answer.
listen. This is how. Okay, just listen.
Cause
Just
and
listen.
effect of
He,
adding an
he's
apple.
he's confusing. Okay, listen. He's confusing the cause and effect with math. 1 + 1 = 2. But that's not what we see when we look out over distance x and see object y. It's not the same
1
dynamic.
+ 1 = 2 is very fundamental, basic child's math. We use
it's-
things like formulas.
Right, but it's math. It's
calculation
not a
tool.
scientific
It's
method.
a tool.
Science
It's
isn't
a
formula.
virtual assistant
It's
to
a tool.
help
It's like
you
a camera.
count.
You take a picture of something and you look at the picture.
And is that
But
science?
these are all
Hold on,
tools. These are
hold on,
not
Owen.
fundamentals.
So you take a picture of
Math
something,
can be used to take snapshots of things.
Is that
mathematical
science?
Snapshots.
and is that science?
It can be used in the scientific method, so it is
No,
science. Technically, yes.
sorry. Why? What's step
Well,
one?
it's information, whether empirical
Oh,
or
Jesus
not.
wept.
That can be used
Jesus wept. You
to
can't shut your mouth long
something.
enough, can you?
You
Do you have to
basically saying
talk
it's
this entire
information
time?
science.
What's step one in the scientific method?
Step 1 in the scientific method is generate a question.
Wrong. Try again.
What's step 1, Nathan? I'm not gonna continue this
Generate a
game.
question about what?
Round 1. You go now.
Right. What are you trying to do in science? What is the point of science?
The point of science is to understand
Right.
God.
Understand what?
whatever you're studying.
Yeah. And what
Very
is that?
fundamental, very basic.
Yeah. So we're studying something. What is it that we're going to study? Is it going to be the question you ask? I'm trying so hard to lead you. Come on.
We're going to study whatever subject you're studying. You don't need to lead me. And that's the problem. You clown on your show way too much.
Science. Well, you're
Someone
just
studying
wrong.
football
Again, I'm trying so
in
that you don't get embarrassed. Let's see if I can try again. Right.
Nobody's embarrassed here. You can't embarrass a person who has no ego.
Oh, really?
Embarrassed for you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sorry.
You guys
So-
can be
Your
embarrassed
anger
No, no,
about it.
outburst
right.
earlier proved.
Let's just try. Let's not try and go off
I'm
track.
not afraid of
Hold
you.
on. So, scientific
definitely have to do
method,
that.
step 1. Could have Googled it by now.
You're coming in garbled, Nathan. I can't make out what you're saying.
Anybody else?
What is step 1? in the
Anybody
scientific
else have
method?
any issue with what I'm saying? Can anybody else not hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Pretty fine.
Right. Let's try it again. Just give me step 1 in the scientific method.
He's gone on mute.
Do you want to find a friend?
Hopefully he's looking it up.
That's what I was thinking. Google
It's
it quick.
about damn time.
Form a question, form a hypothesis, an experiment, and analyze the data and draw a conclusion.
Wow.
So it's make
You just
observation
ask
and
Alexa-
form
Hold on.
a question.
Shut up. Let him talk.
That's all
Go
it
ahead.
is.
Sorry.
It's you look at something and you have a fucking question. That's step
sorry.
1, dude.
Sorry. What's so? Look at
The
something.
question.
Something. What's the something?
The sun.
No.
I don't know.
Oh,
Scurvy?
so let me tell you. You're studying.
Scurvy.
What's scurvy? Is it a
Let's study scurvy.
Oh, he's just so stupid. He can't shut his mouth while he's getting the answer. That's why you will remain stupid. Because when people explain
quit
answers to
clowning
you,
and crying
you
in your
continue
corner.
to
Let
talk.
me tell you how I
This
would
is
start
how
my study.
stupid you
I'm gonna
are.
explain
I'm trying
you.
to give you the answer. You don't know the answer. The entire audience heard the voice of the computer reading out the answer to you. So you are stupid,
I'm going
and rather
to
than
explain
listening,
to
you
how to
talk.
do it.
That's a demonstration of what
watching, dude.
stupid people do. Yeah? Did you talk over the computer when it was telling you what it was? Did you talk over the robotic voice as well? Is that how dumb you are?
You
Are
literally
you
find a
using
friend,
an
don't you?
Alexa to ask
Yeah.
questions?
Nathan,
That's-
you're coming through really garbled, and I can't understand.
Oh,
what you're
really?
saying,
Everyone
and
else
you
can
won't
hear me.
stop talking, so when do
That's
I get
all
my
right. It's
chance?
all right. We all understand you've got shit between your ears. That's what the problem is here.
So let's start the process of quantifying scurvy.
Just want you to define the scientific method.
We haven't got to step 1 yet.
Can we do that?
I tried to give you the answer and you talked over me. I mean, that's just how stupid you are. I was literally half a breath from giving you the answer and you started talking.
How do I know you're starting to talk?
Yeah, because
and then you get mad at me because you were going to talk, but I
you
cut
just
you
asked
off
a
right before you
question
started to talk.
and then you carried on talking. You see, you ask a question, I go to start answering it, and then you carry on talking. How do I was your first 3 words. That implies that at the end of that, there's a question mark that needs answering. So I start to answer it, but you carry on talking. So the question on the table is, what is step 1 in the scientific method? We still haven't got an answer that's correct from you.
It's generating a question about an observation. To query
An observation of what?
whatever you're observing. Scurvy.
Okay, I observe my keyboard. You're going to be able to science that? My keyboard, a concrete noun.
Well, what do you want to know? I mean, it was
Sorry,
designed in
so
AutoCAD.
you're not getting it. You see, I'm
What do
trying
you
to
wanna know?
lead you. See, again,
keyboard,
you're talking and swearing rather than listening.
I'll tell you
So
what.
I'll explain.
The microbiome of
You
your
see, you're talking again when
your
you should be
keyboard is
listening. Again,
filled
a
with
stupid
bacteria
person,
and food.
ignorant person
We'll talk about
that
that.
talks and asserts things continually when they should listen. So, we're not observing concrete nouns. We're observing stuff happening. We're observing phenomena.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. We're trying to discover the cause of, guess what? An effect. Not a concrete noun, not a rock, not a tree. An effect. Cause and effect. An effect being a phenomena. That's right, 0 points to the complete and total retard on the panel.
We have still not discussed exactly.
Would
how
that be
I-
a 0 concession that you don't have the slightest idea what the first step in the scientific method is by asking me something and telling us something? Don't assert anything else. You are stupid. You don't need to assert anything else.
You guys are clowns.
Oh, really? You are the dumbest person to have ever come on this panel. When asked for step 1 in the scientific method, you got a voice reader to tell you. You literally couldn't even read the words off the page. You had to have your computer read it out to you.
Really? Is that what you think, Nathan?
No, it's not what I think. It is absolutely what got broadcast to over 200 people. It's not what I think. It is a total and utter humiliation. A demonstration of somebody so stupid that after Googling it, they couldn't just read it off the page. They had to have it read out to them by a bloody voice reader. That is how dumb you are. And with that demonstration of possibly the most unbelievable level of stupidity we have ever had on the debate, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel, even the dumbest member we've ever had, for making the debate possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing the debate. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do, but if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!